All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Cold Wednesday with the storm getting ready to come in. Today I have a special guest from Toms River South, sophomore Abbey Olexa. Abby, thank you for joining me.
Yep, I'm glad to be here.
You are actually my 50th interview.
Really?
Yep. I was talking to a basketball player this morning. I was like, I'm actually doing my 50th interview. So congrats. Good job by me. Who knew after
Yeah,
five?
congrats.
Who knew after five? I started this right after COVID started. So, and
Oh, wow.
I took a month off during the summer because I went on vacation and I couldn't get back into it. But yeah, and then I got back into it right before soccer with the soccer coaches, and then after a couple weeks into the season, I started doing the players. So hopefully keep going. I want to expand it and get more coverage for the girls soccer programs.
Yep.
First, I'd like to start off. You said Toms River is transitioning to hybrid.
Yep, we started. Yeah, we started a month ago.
Okay. How did at the end of last year? How did you find adjusting to where everything just kind of got shut down and you went full virtual with all the schools?
At first, it was difficult, but as it progressed through, it started to get easy, and the days just got it just felt like everything was the same every single day of my life. So
Yeah, everyone, it was tough on the students, but people forget it was tough on the teachers too because it kind of just hit them. They weren't prepared for this. So, but the summer they had time to prepare. Now getting to soccer. How old were you when you started playing?
I was 5 years old when I
Five.
started. Yeah.
Who did you start? Toms River Rec.
I started at a club called Pine Beach Soccer Club. It's not
Pine.
a thing anymore, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, Toms River's right. You got Dover, Pine Beach, all in the same area.
Yeah.
Did you play any other sports when you were younger?
I played gymnastics and basketball.
Gymnastics. When did you give up gymnastics?
When I was 7, I think.
7.
So,
Now I saw you play basketball last season. But when did you realize soccer was the sport you wanted to focus on?
I think it's always been the sport I wanted to focus on. So I just had basketball just to keep things interesting rather than the same thing.
Yeah, they say the athletes who do more than one sport less likely to get hurt. Because you're working different muscles for every sport. Why do you why is soccer your sport? What do you love about it?
It's just I just grew up and it's just the thing I began to love. And everyone told me I was good at it when I was young, so it was something I wanted to keep moving forward with.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have an older sister and a younger brother.
Do they play soccer?
Yeah, my sister plays soccer. My brother plays soccer too. Yeah.
Were you very competitive with your older sister?
Yeah, I've always been competitive with her.
Yeah. Okay, a lot of battles in the backyard, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Does your brother play too? Your brother play soccer?
Yeah.
Yeah. How old is he?
He's 10.
10. Okay, so he's got a little bit till he gets to high school.
Yeah.
Do you try to help him or teach
Yeah,
him?
I help him a lot. Yeah.
Are you good helping him, or are you kind of like, why aren't you listening to me?
Sometimes, well, I'm usually good, but sometimes I get on him for certain things.
I like to ask all the players is what have your parents, meant to you as far as your development? Because it's a lot different from when I used to coach, with the traveling and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, they both played sports growing up, so they taught me how to what kind of mentality I had to go into the game and training and anything that I did to work. I had to work hard to earn the things that I want.
Do they have soccer background or was it other sports?
It was other sports. My dad played football and basketball. My mom played gymnastics.
Okay, so that's probably where you get your gymnastics from.
Yeah.
um, who would you say was like a role model to you growing up?
Probably Abbey Wambach and Diego Costa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Diego Costa. I'm a Chelsea fan, so.
Yeah, me too.
That's been my team since early 2000s. So, talking a little more about your youth soccer. You said you started with Pine Beach. Do you remember who your first coach was?
My dad was my first coach.
Okay. How long did you play there until you moved up?
I think like a year or two, and then I went to Beechwood, and then
Beechwood.
Beechwood. Yeah.
Who's your current team?
I played for PDA Sting, BCNL.
Shore, PDA Shore or
Yeah,
North Shore? Or there's a South. I didn't even realize there was a PDA South either. I just thought it was North. Who's your current coach?
Lou Santa Cruz.
Oh, Lou. I was sitting with him and Brian and Bruce at the Brick against Cranford. I was sitting with them, and they're. I never met Lou, but he was acting like we've been friends forever. Great guy.
Yeah.
So that whole group was fun to sit with them.
Mm-hmm.
Who are some of your current teammates?
Well, Paige Seitz, she plays on my school team. She's on my team too. A lot of girls from North, like Jackie Graham and Faith Wavershack. Yeah, they're all on my team too.
I was going to ask this later, but we could ask this now. I noticed when I go to Toms River games, whether it's North, South, East, the other Toms River players like yourself are always, not always, but most of the time you see them there. What is it with Toms River that you support each other's school when you're not playing each other, of course?
Well, yeah, I just think like even though we're on different teams, like we all know each other. So like even though like one day we'll be like rivals and like getting at it, and then the next day we'll be cheering them on at their game. So it's just like a community, and like we're just all together even though we go to different schools.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that when Toms River North played in the finals, your team was like sitting right in front of me. I saw Toms River East, I saw Donovan Catholic, but even during the regular season, when I saw you guys play Toms River North, Toms River East, and Donovan players were there. It's just great to see, even though you're opposing schools, that when you're not playing each other, you're showing support.
Yeah.
Do you think that hurts the town too? There's so much talent in Toms River that you're all spread out. And
I think so. Honestly, I talk about that a lot with a lot of people about how we'd be so good if we were all together.
Now, I've been making that argument since I was in high school that like the two brick schools separate the talent. Now Jackson Liberty wasn't around when I was in school. But Toms River, Brick, Middletowns, they would have a great program if all their best players.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of stinks because you could be top teams in the state every year, especially in Toms River, because all three teams have very good talent.
Mm-hmm.
Now talking about high school, when you were last year, you were a freshman. When you were going into school, what were some of the goals you set that you wanted to accomplish over 4 years? I know you're only halfway through, but what were some of the goals that you set for yourself?
Well, my goal for freshman year was to make a statement, and my overall goal is to possibly like break the record of like most career goals from a player.
That's good. Now, your freshman year, you had 25, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now you were I told you after a basketball game, you were my soccer. You were a clear cut freshman of the year, I thought, last year. I only got to see you play once. It was against Jackson Memorial, but you could just tell when I asked the parent, who you were, and they told me you were a freshman. I was like, wow. So, now your freshman year, your sister was on your team your freshman year, right?
Yeah, but she didn't play.
Okay.
She hurt her knee.
So, but besides your sister, who's an upperclassman or some upperclassman that, like, if you had a question or if you had an issue that you could rely on or you could go to ask?
Well, Shayla Scully played up top with me, so we always had like communication going on and like always asking each other like where we should be moving, and like we just worked together, and that's why our team was so successful my freshman year.
So before I forget this question, do you play the same position for PDA?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know doing these interviews, I know sometimes you play different positions. I never would have thought that you got defenders playing midfield for their high school team and they were defenders for their club team. So
Yeah.
but it seems like though up top players pretty much they stay up top.
Well, this year I played a lot of defensive mid too, more
Okay.
than half the games. Yeah.
Um. Anything else freshman year? What was the record last year?
I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
yeah, I have it on my phone. Um. Yeah. So I want to talk this year. Did you think a season was going to happen with COVID going on? During the summer?
I thought it was gonna happen. A lot of people said no, but I really just I thought there was some way to get around it, and especially since like I knew it was gonna happen, especially when my club team started practicing in the summer. I was like, we're probably gonna have a season because of that.
Yeah, I went to a lot of the summer basketball league, fall basketball league. I went to a couple of the good sports events for soccer, and there were no issues. There was, no issues with the COVID spreading. So I thought that was definitely a positive sign going into the high school season. Was there any fear that at any time during the season it could just be shut down?
I wasn't really afraid.
Mhm.
I thought we were gonna be okay through the season.
What were some of the goals you set, or team goals that you girls had this season?
Um, it was weird. So I think we were more just trying to get on the field and get playing and moving the ball. And our goal, like each game, was to create an attack because it was obvious that we had a hard time creating an attack. So, which we finally got at the end, obviously. Yeah.
Now, you told me you were injured during the season. Do you think that was part of the reason that you guys struggled a little bit during the midseason creating an attack?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was hard since like I distribute the ball well, so I think that it was harder for me to get those passes in or sprint down the field or do the stuff that I needed to do in order for our team to be more successful.
What were your injuries?
I had a pulled quad and
Oh,
a sprained ankle.
and you still played through it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how you girls do that because I know Reese got injured in brick. And I don't know how I don't know how you girls do it. Did you have to do any special treatments like physical therapy or anything to be able to keep
Well,
playing?
after the yeah, during this season I did ankle strength and I couldn't
Mhm.
really do anything about my quad because that's just rest.
Yeah.
So, but currently I took 3 weeks off and
Mhm.
I'm still doing the ankle strengthening and I've been resting my leg.
How's your quad feeling now? Do you feel improvement or?
It's improved, but it's not 100% better yet.
Um, Now your team started off strong and then you a little low, but then you end up having a great state run. Talk a little bit about the state playoffs and finishing with the sectional title.
Well, I think what made us have that great run is that's when our chemistry was the best and that's when we moved the ball the best. I think all the girls just were on the same page and we all joined together and we weren't yelling at each other because some of the games we would get aggravated, which is something that happens. So it's just that we had the chemistry and we were just as a unit in those final games.
Now you played Thomas River East, right, in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk that game, and the score was 1-0, right? Was that the final?
Yeah.
And talk, the goal. Riley scored? Who scored?
Riley Spaghetti.
Yeah, and just talk, when she scored, what the feeling was, you guys winning, girls winning.
Well, the whole game we were knocking on the door, and Riley goes out wide, and she I don't even know how she scored because she was even with the end line, and she shot it right over the goalie's head, and everyone went crazy. So it was a really really good feeling, especially when it was later in the game too, and then we started to play a defensive game so we can hold the lead.
I wanted to your goalie Holly. Um, I saw her when I saw you girls play Jackson last year. She stood out to me, and to me doesn't get any attention. How do you feel? With her in the back line, to me, she's a very good goalie. How is she? What's your opinion?
I think she's really good. I think that she's like really aggressive as a goalkeeper, and like she doesn't like hesitate at all. And I think that's what makes her like so good. And she knows what she's doing. And the thing is, like, she can play on the field too. So she's like really, really diverse with how she plays.
That's good too when goalies handling when pass backs and stuff. If you play on the field, because I've seen there's one couple teams they kick it back to the goalie and I just close my eyes, not knowing if the ball's going to end up into the net. But after last season, she was one of my players that I had to keep a lookout for this season. What are some goals your team you have to finish up the next 2 seasons?
Well, I'm gonna try keeping at the goal to score as many, like to break the record for the school career goals. That's the biggest one, I think. And I think just to help lead the team to as many wins as we can.
Your coach retired, right? Did he retire?
Yeah. Both of them.
How did it feel, him going out on a winning note and winning the sectional?
Well, he's won a lot, and I was just glad that he was able to end with it, both of them. So it was glad to get him that.
Yeah, he's been there a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the longer tenured coaches in the Shore. Talk briefly. You played basketball this season. What made you decide that you were going to play basketball as a freshman?
I had a lot of friends that were going to play basketball, so that's part of the reason. And I just like being in the school, so playing basketball kept me there. And it was just a good team, and I liked the coaches and everything. It helped me like explore more interests that I have.
That's good, and it's good school spirit. But you're not playing this season, right?
No.
Perhaps smart heal up, and who knows what this season's going to even look like.
Yeah.
Before we talk, future goals and stuff, you up for a little rapid questions?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite movie?
Probably White House Down, I think.
White House Down. I think I've seen that. How about favorite TV show?
Superstore.
I never even heard of that.
It's a Hulu. It's on Hulu.
What's your favorite school subject?
Math.
Math. What's your favorite number?
14.
14. Okay. Is that your club number too?
Yeah.
Okay. I took my niece to one of the Tom's River North games, and she does that Friday training with PDA. She's only 8, but Madison's one of the girls that I guess volunteers there, and she was confused that because I took her also this when she's 15, and she said, "Oh, you're number 15. That's my favorite number." She goes, "Well, I'm really number 5 because I guess that's her club number." So my niece was confused how you could have 2 different numbers.
Yeah.
What is something you enjoy to do besides soccer in your free time?
I like to paint.
Paint? That's interesting.
Yeah.
What got you into painting?
I just saw a lot of people doing. Like I saw paintings, and I was like, "Oh, I think I can do that." So I just started doing it.
It's a fun hobby.
Yeah.
Relax you from all the tense sports. Talking about your future, sophomore, college is showing interest. What are some things you're looking at when you're thinking schools?
Well, I like the big schools, and I'm looking for out of state.
Okay.
That's really what I'm looking at right now.
Do you know what you want to study?
I'm thinking like either law or like something in the medical field.
Yeah. You kids shocked me. When I was in school, you played sports and you did not think about law or med or any of that. It was just sports, but you girls are so smart these days. So that answers what you think about career lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay. I wish you luck. Last question I like to ask everybody. What is something you would like to you could tell your younger self? Any advice that you would give your younger self?
I think that I would tell my younger self that change is good, that change can be a good thing, and that even though you might not be comfortable, it's okay to be uncomfortable. That's probably what I would say.
That's good. When do you think you're going to start playing again with PDA?
Well, we're practicing right now, so that's it. But I haven't been practicing because I've been resting. So probably after the new year.
I streamed some of the PDA North games from Sunday. I was bored. No soccer to watch. So, well, I hope you heal up soon so you can get back out there, and hopefully we could all get back out there.
Yeah.
Games, because I know they're tightening up with fans and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do basketball season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sneak into a couple of gyms, but I don't know. So, all right, Abby, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it, and thank you for being my 50th guest.
Thank you for having me.
All right. You have a good day.
You too.